Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. It was a cloudy morning in Greendale, but as Pat set out along the valley on his way to the village post office, it brightened up. A large van was parked in the narrow road. It was Sam's mobile shop. It was going to be a tight squeeze getting past. Come on, straighten up. Come on, you could get a bus through there. Plenty of room. Hello, Sam. Thanks. Could you give these to Mrs. Atkinson, please? Right-o, Pat. Mind how you go. Oh dear. I think we're stuck. It's all that rain. It's made the ground boggy. Hello, Pat. Still here? Yes, I am. I'm stuck in the mud. I'll give Pete Fogg a shout as I go past. He can tow you out with his tractor. Hang on. Thanks, Sam. Well. Looking at life through a farmer's eyes, always aware of the changing skies. The wind and the rain, they all make their claim as he plows and he sows and sets seeds into rows. He sees all the wonders that nature can bring as he works all the year to bring rich harvests in. Looking at life through a farmer's eyes, always aware of the changing skies. Hedgerows with birds, wild animals and trees. In the bright summer sun, he sees busy honeybees. And he's working with nature, as all round the farm, he'll try to make sure good things come to no harm. Summer and winter, seasons all through, there's never a time when there's nothing to do. Setting the crops and preparing the land, he always can do with a good helping hand. Looking at life through a farmer's eyes, always aware of the changing skies. He works between forests and valleys and hills, or the flat even plains with an unbroken view. But wherever it is, still the farmers can claim that they work for our bread with their harvests of grain. Wherever it is, the farmers can claim that they work for our bread with their harvests of grain. Peter came at last. Hello, Peter. Can you tow me out, please? My van's stuck in the mud. Easy! Sam said you'd need help. I'll just back up. Now then, just tie it on there. Right. All right. Ready? Bye. Thanks a lot. Pat was on his way again. Morning. Morning, Pat. You're a bit late today. Yes, I got held up down by Atkinson's. I was trying to get past Sam's van, and I got stuck on the grass verge. Then I had to wait for Peter Fogg to come and pull me out with his tractor. Oh, a good thing he did. Look, Major Forbes' bull. It won first prize at the county show. Isn't it a magnificent animal? Have you seen it? No, and I don't think I want to either. There's a letter for the Major, so you might meet the bull. Better keep a sharp lookout. I'd run a mile if I saw it. Cheerio. Dee 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 dum 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 ba dum bum bum beep dee dum dum bum 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 bee bo ba dum bum 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 bee do rum bum 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 diddly dum bum bum bum. Ted Glenn was waving to Pat to make him stop. Some fool's left a gate open. I bet it's those campers. The sheep have got into the clover field. It'll kill them if they eat too much. Can you give me a hand to drive them back? Yes, of course I will. I used to work on a farm when I was a lad. Have they gone far then? You can see them up there. They've spread out a bit. We'd better get after them. Hang on, Pat. We've left a gate open now. We're as bad as the campers. I'll shut it. You go that way, and I'll go this. Right. Phew, that was warm work. What's that funny noise? Hey up, it's that bull. Run!
Hey, wait for me! What's up, Ted?
Oh, it's my ankle. Oh, by gum, it does hurt. Ouch! I can't get up. I think I've broken it.
Now what are we going to do? You can't sit here till it gets better. I'd better go and get Dr. Gilbertson from the village. Won't be long. Pat gave Dr. Gilbertson her letters and told her about Ted's broken ankle. "Oh dear, my car's in Pencaster being serviced," said the doctor. "Then I'll take you in my van." So Dr. Gilbertson brought her bag. She sat in Jess's place. Ted was glad to see the doctor.
Oh! Ooh! Ouch!
She soon bandaged his ankle up. It wasn't broken, just badly sprained.
Try not to put too much weight on it now.
Pat's walking stick came in handy.
Thanks, Pat. Oh! By gum!
You'll have to ride amongst the letters, Ted. Easy now.
Oh! Oh, dear.
Jess rode on Dr. Gilbertson's knee until they arrived back at the surgery.
Bye, Pat.
Ted was glad to get home. "You all right now?"
I'll manage. Thanks for helping. Cheerio. Bye.
Pat was on his way again. He still had a lot of letters and parcels to deliver. Hello, Alf.
Hello, Pat. Thanks for getting the sheep back. It's the same thing every year. Gates left open all over the place. We'll have to have words with them campers, won't we, Dot?
What a morning, Jess. Rounding up sheep, dodging bulls, fetching doctors. And now we're late with all this post. We'll have to get a move on this afternoon.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Bom, 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 dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, bom, bom, brum, bom, bom, ba-dum, bom, bom, bom. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
It was a lovely summer morning in Greendale. Pat had finished delivering the village letters. Morning all!
Morning, Pat. Hello, Pat. Just the weather to make the garden grow.
What a day! Well, seems to be growing in here. I've never seen so many flowers. Mrs. Goggins?
Morning, Pat.
Mind your back. Hello, Sam. More flowers? There'll soon be no room for letters. I'll just put them here for the time being.
Thanks, Sam.
I hope I've not brought too many.
Oh, Sam, we'll need a lot more if we're going to win the competition.
No problem. There's plenty more. What's this competition you're on about?
Oh, Pat, you must have heard about it.
The best village competition, of course.
So we'll have to do our best. I'm going to cover this old post office with flowers.
I wondered what was going on. I never saw Greendale look so bright. I thought it was the nice weather. I suppose there'll be some judges coming to pick the winner. Yes, Pat, but nobody knows when they're coming. It'll be a surprise, like. Just to keep us on our toes. Bye for now. Bye.
Cheerio.
Well, I'd better get on with the post. Flowers or no flowers.
Oh, Pat, when you call at Greendale Farm with that parcel, will you collect something for me? Mrs. Pottage promised me some tubs to put the flowers in outside the shop.
I'll remember. Don't worry. No trouble. With all this sprucing up going on, I'll not be able to forget. Bye.
Bye, Pat.
Whoops! Oi, look out! Hello, Ted. What are you doing up there? Hello, Pat. Just giving the wall a spot of fresh paint. For this here competition. It's grand stuff, this new paint. You can put it anywhere. Yes, I've noticed. Even the letterbox has come out in spots. Aye, it flies about a bit. It'll come off with a bit of a rub. I don't know about best village competition. I reckon they should call it the busiest village competition. Oh, my van. It's caught the measles. Oh dear. No, I don't know how that's happened. It does look a bit sickly. You'd best take it to see a doctor. It's your blooming paint. You meant to paint the post office, not everything for miles around. It needs a drop of water to get it off. Drop in at my place and I'll give it a good hosing down. See you later, Pat. Bye. We'd better get a move on then. Look at your nose, Jess. You'd better watch out. Ted'll be giving you a hose down if he sees that. It was time for a quick wash. Pat went to Greendale Farm first.
to get the tubs.
Oh, Pat, hello.
Hello there.
And to give Mrs. Pottage her parcel.
Thank you, Pat. The tubs are just over there by the barn, Pat. But keep a watch out for any strange plants you might see. He's coming.
There were some very odd blooms in the tubs. Goodness me! A greater flowering Katie and a giggling Tom tree. What will Mrs. Pottage grow next?
Hello, Pat. We're talking plants as well. And we can help you put our tubs in your van.
This one first.
And this one next. Has your van got spots?
Well, it looks like it. I'd better take it to see Dr. Glenn. He's good at curing spotty vans.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Pat was on his way. He stopped at Ted Glenn's. Looks as though Ted's ready for me.
Hey up, Pat.
Hello, Ted.
I thought you'd forgotten, Pat. I'll have to be quick. I've got to get down to Pencaster Station tomorrow to catch a train for Scotland.
Where are you off to, Ted?
It's young Caroline's wedding. Can't miss that. There's all sorts to do before I go. And I can't leave Mrs. Goggins with that hole in her roof. Anyway, I've got Peter Fogg lined up to give me a lift to the station on his motorbike. It'll be a day or two before I get back. And I don't want to leave the lorry down at the station. It might disappear. So I'll leave it in the village when I finish Mrs. Goggins' roof. Then you'll be able to keep an eye on it for me.
Good idea, Ted. Have a good time at the wedding, and thanks for cleaning the van.
Ta-da, Pat!
Cheerio! The next day, the village was covered in flowers. There were tubs and flower pots in every street. Window boxes and baskets overflowing with plants. Flowers everywhere. Any time now, the judges would arrive to choose the best village. The next day, the phone rang in Pat's house.
Hello? Yes? Oh. Are you sure? I mean, it is Ted's. Oh, you'd know it anywhere. Oh, what's it doing there? Just sitting there looking ugly. Oh, goodness. All that work making the village beautiful. I'll tell Pat. I'm sure he'll think of something. Yes, right now. I'll tell him to hurry. Goodbye. Pat! Pat! Something's happened.
And here is John to
What's
give you
up?
the weather forecast.
Ted's left his lorry right by the village green. The judges for the competition are due any minute. It'll be the first thing they see. And all the flowers and work. It'll all go to waste.
We'll ask him to move it. I expect he's gone to mend Mrs. Goggins' roof.
No, he's not at Mrs. Goggins and nobody can find him. His workshop's locked and empty.
Oh, now I remember. He's gone to Scotland. To Caroline's wedding. I meant to tell you, he'll be gone for a few days. I'd better go and see what I can do.
Good luck, Pat. Bye.
Bye!
There the lorry was, just as Sarah had said. with Peter Fogg and Mr. Pringle scratching their heads. They had tried to move the lorry, but the thing would not budge an inch. Oh, what a pity! Right by the village green. The judges simply cannot miss it.
What's all this? What's going on?
Peter Fogg and Mr. Pringle explained to P.C. Selby about the lorry and the judges.
Parking is allowed here. Quite legal. Can't do anything to move it. Where's Pat? He might think of something.
Pat had met Major Forbes at the post office, and he was telling him what had happened.
Tell you what, sort of thing we did in my army days. We'd cover it up, hide it. Camouflage, that's the word. Right, let's start. By the left, quick march.
Alf came with his tractor and trailer to give a hand. And Peter Fogg loaded it with more flowers.
Right you are, Alf.
Pots and shrubs.
Off you go.
They all helped. Miss Hubbard was there. Dorothy Thompson found some big sheets of green cloth with pretend grass. Then the shrubs arrived.
Well done, everybody. Keep it up.
First the sides of the lorry were let down, then they covered it with the imitation grass, put the shrubs on, together with some flower pots, and with a bit of fencing in front, it looked like a garden. The phones were ringing again, all over Greendale.
Hello? What? We have? Miss Hubbard, we've won! Won? Did you say we've won? The best village competition?
Lord bless us. What wonderful news.
Well, twins, our tubs must have helped. We've won after all. Hooray! Yippee! I knew we could do it! Well, isn't that just marvellous news, Pat? That'll put Garner Bridge on the front page of the Pencaster Gazette. I hear that the judges liked best of all the special hillock covered with lovely flowers. Now, I never knew we had any such hillock in the village.
Well, it won't be there for long, so you'd better get a good look at it. Yes, the judges couldn't believe their eyes. They came back twice to have another look.
A date to remember. It certainly was. Has anybody seen my lorry? I left it in the village before I went to Scotland and, well, I don't seem able to find it now. There's a mystery for you, P.C. Selby. Ted's lost his lorry. No, nobody seems to have found a lorry. All I've heard is about flowers. Bushes and flowers, lots of them. Will somebody tell me what the joke is? Turned a lorry into a bunch of flowers. Oh, they what?
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Here he comes. It's Postman Pat on his way with the letters. Buzzing about Greendale. Busy as ever. There are some letters for Granny Dryden today. Won't be long, Jess. Is somebody busy with a spot of painting? Looks like it. Hello, Granny Dryden.
Morning, Pat.
There was Granny Dryden standing on a box, sploshing at the wall with the paint.
I can't hold a brush properly now. It's these rheumatics, you know.
You're making a grand job of that. It's going to look lovely when you've finished.
Nay, Pat, I'll not be able to make a right job of it. The ceiling wants doing, and I'll never reach that in all my days.
Would you like a hand with it? I could borrow a stepladder from Ted. I'll pop round after work and do that ceiling for you in 2 ticks. You might need a drop more paint, though. Let's have a look. How much is there in this one? I think it's empty.
Do be careful. It's messy stuff.
Oh! Oh.
Now you've gone and done it. All down your nice clean trousers. See if you can wipe it off before it soaks in.
I think it's just making it worse. Spreading it out.
Ooh, I'm sorry about your trousers. What is Sarah going to say?
Never you worry about that. It was my fault. I should take more care. I expect that's what Sarah will say. I'll nip home and change. These are not my best pair, luckily. I'll see you this evening.
Oh, you are kind, Pat. Now mind how you go. Cheerio, Pat.
Bye, Granny Dryden. Pat was on his way. Jess was wondering what the funny smell was. It didn't take long to get home. Sarah did get a surprise. Hello? Anybody in? It's just me.
Hello there.
Oh, what What are you doing back at this time of day? And what on earth have you done to your trousers?
It's only a drop of paint. You see, he told her all about Granny Dryden's ceiling.
Well, you can't put your best pair on. I took them to the cleaners in Pencaster yesterday, and they won't be ready till Thursday.
What am I going to do?
You could look in the airing cupboard. I think there's an old pair that you do the gardening in.
Well, it'll be better than nothing. I'll have a look. Sarah had her own work to get on with. When she saw Pat coming downstairs in his old trousers, she couldn't help laughing.
Are they long shorts or short longs?
I can't hang about any longer with all these letters to deliver. They'll do.
Good luck, Pat.
Bye.
He was on his way again with rather chilly knees. Jess didn't know what to make of Pat's bare knees. He thought summer must have arrived early. They called on Miss Hubbard next. She had been doing a spot of gardening and nearly dropped the flowers she was carrying when she saw Pat.
Oh, goodness me, Pat. What are you doing in those shorts? It's not summer yet.
They're not shorts, Miss Hubbard. They're an old pair of trousers. It's Granny Dryden, you see. She's painting her room, and she can't reach the ceiling. And
I don't believe a word of it. It's that post office. They're going all continental. Something to do with this common market business. Oh, what a lark! Did you say Granny Dryden was painting? Do you mean a picture?
no, she's painting her sitting room, and I'm giving a hand with the ceiling.
Well, I don't know what that's got to do with wearing Bermuda shorts. Hey-ho, it's a funny old world. But what she will need is plenty of sheets to cover the furniture.
Oh, yes, I don't think she's got many. I didn't see any.
She'll certainly need some sheets if you're going to help her. I've seen what a man can do with a pot of paint. I'll just get some out of the cupboard for you.
Oh dear, they are a bit on the short side. I hope I didn't get a pair of Julians by mistake.
Here we are. Whoops! Oh! Oh!
Help! A ghost!
Oh, drat this thing! Get it off, I say! Oh!
Is it you, Miss Hubbard?
Of course it's me! What a question! Don't just stand there! Get me out
I
of
can't
this!
help you if you jump around like that,
What
Miss
an
Hubbard.
annoying business! Oh! 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 Oh, what a relief. Now, Pat, pop that in your van and let's have no more nonsense about ghosts.
Pat was on his way again. There was a cold breeze blowing, so he kept the sheet on his lap to keep his knees warm. They called it Ted Glen's workshop. There was no sign of Ted. Hello? Ted? Anyone at home? Post! Where has he got to? Ted was getting his spring carrots in when he heard somebody bumping about in his workshop. He thought he'd better go and have a look. You never know, it might be a burglar. Ted crept very quietly round to the door.
Stop!
Oh, help! Oh, Ted.
Sorry, Pat. I thought you were a burglar.
Postman come house painter, more like. I've promised to give Granny Dryden a hand with painting her ceiling. Do you think I could borrow a ladder?
I'll do better than that. I'll give you a hand. Are you doing it before you go on holiday?
Holiday? What gave you that idea, Ted?
It's the snazzy shorts. Very smart.
Cheerio.
Ta-da, Pat. I'll meet you tonight at Granny Dryden's with the ladders. 7 o'clock.
Pat was off again. To Thompson Ground. Dorothy was tidying up in the yard.
Oh, it's Pat. I wonder what he's brought today.
Lots of letters today, Dorothy. And it's a right busy day. A touch of spring in the air. What with you getting all tidied up and Granny Dryden painting her room.
I hope she has plenty of paint. It always takes twice as much as you think it's going to need.
Well, she might be a bit short.
Like your trousers.
Well now, that's another story.
We have plenty of pots in the barn. Always painting something we are. I'm sure we can spare a drop for Granny Dryden. Just keep a lookout for our silly hens. They get everywhere.
Hey up! Ooh, it's a bit dark in here. This looks like the sort of thing.
It's on a shelf. Have you found it?
Ooh, it's a bit dark in here.
Oh, help! A flying paint pot.
Oh, ouch!
I'll wait out here till you've done with the hens. Oh! You do look nice. I love the feathery finish. To go with the shorts, I suppose.
Time to go home. It was a busy scene at Granny Dryden's cottage that evening. We'll soon be done. It'll be just like new. I think I've about done my bit.
It's a right bobby dazzler.
And I've a surprise for you.
We can clear this now.
Come and sit down and admire your nice new ceiling.
Oh, it's lovely. It really is. I could never have done it on my own. Oh, you are kind.
Here, look at this. I've found another pot of paint.
Give it a good stir before it sets hard.
Nay, it isn't a pot of paint at all. It's a cake.
A surprise, just to say thank you to both of you.
Now that's the best pot of paint I ever saw.
And it's one you can't spill down your trousers.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.